And we will now call to order the April 14th, 2025 Franklin County Community School Corporation regular school board meeting. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. If everyone would please stand if able, remove your caps. We have two folks in the crowd that are going to help us lead the pledge. Jack up here in front, a member of the 4-H. I have somebody to help you, okay? Also, we have our wrestling coach, a veteran, Justin Lysing in the back. So, Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May be seated. Mr. Gary?
Well, good evening, members of the board, and thank you for another opportunity to celebrate. And as you can tell, there's a lot to celebrate as we have a lot of folks in the room. And just so we can navigate the space, we are going to do our staff of the month, pause, take some quick pictures, and then we will move right into our middle school and then high school recognition. After they're both finished, we'll then take those pictures again. And if you'd like to leave at that point, it's a very natural time. If you'd like to stay, you're welcome to stay. But we will take that moment to pause in case others would like to head out. So don't worry, the room will clear out pretty quick after that, okay? All right, so first and foremost, I know that she could not make it, but we want to take a moment to say congratulations and thank you to Ms. Charlie Hammond as April Support Staff of the Month. Let's give her a bit of a round of applause. I will take a moment to read the selection. Superintendent Mr. Dustin Carey is happy to announce Ms. Charlie Hammond has been selected as April Support Staff of the Month. Charlie has been a paraprofessional at Laurel Elementary for 3 years. Charlie was nominated for this honor by a staff member. When asked Ms. Hammond why Ms. Hammond should be considered for this recognition, that person responded, "Charlie goes above and beyond for the kids in her class. She always jumps in and helps whenever it's necessary. Also, jumping into the classroom and writing all the extra bus routes and even driving the bus if needed." In her free time, Charlie loves spending time with her husband, Jesse, and their 4 kids. She enjoys going on motorcycle rides with Jesse and watching her kids play sports. When asked what is the best part of her job, Ms. Hammond responded, "Watching our students grow throughout the year. They make so many achievements from the beginning to the end of preschool. The smiles on their faces when they learn to write their names is amazing. I'm so thankful for to work with so many wonderful kids and a wonderful staff." And Charlie had been nominated a number of times over the course of the year. So it was exciting to have a chance to celebrate her, and let's give her one more round of applause. All right, for our Educator of the Month, I'd like to welcome with a round of applause. Won't you please help me welcome Miss Jenny Meyer. You're all done, but you can hold it for now, okay? This is also going to be for you, but you can leave it here because you got some other work to do first. All right. Superintendent Mr. Dustin Gary is honored to announce that Ms. Jenny Meyer has been selected as April's Educator of the Month. Mrs. Meyer is a 3rd grade teacher at Mount Carmel Elementary School and has been educating our Vikings for the past 29 years. Jenny has a bachelor's degree from Miami University and a master's from Indiana Wesleyan. Her dedication doesn't stop there. She also is an active member of St. Michael Catholic Church, Franklin County Extension Board, the Franklin County Community Foundation, and the Franklin County College Success Coalition. Jenny was nominated for this honor by a student and a parent. When asked why Ms. Meyer should be considered for this recognition, the student first responded, "I'd like to nominate my teacher for Teacher of the Month. She's a great teacher. She encourages me to do my very best. She has worked hard to make sure I was prepared for the I-read test, and I hope that all my future teachers care about me the way that she does." The parent followed up by stating Mrs. Meyer is a wonderful teacher. She does a great job communicating with me about the issues or concerns she may have with my son, or just to let me know what a wonderful day he's had. She is one of the best, most patient teachers we've have dealt with. She makes sure all of her students are able to comprehend what she is teaching. She goes above and beyond for all of her students. Jenny definitely deserves this award. Jenny spends much of her free time with family and friends, but also loves watching sports, listening to music, working in the yard, reading, and taking walks. She really enjoys the outdoors in general. When asked what she loves most about her job, Ms. Meyer responded, "I am very grateful I've spent my entire teaching career at MCS and as an FCCSC teacher. I have taught for a long time, and I feel very lucky to honestly say that I still enjoy coming to work each and every day. The best part of my job is that I work daily with young kids who make life entertaining and enjoyable. And seeing their growth and learning firsthand makes my job very rewarding. Another part of my job that I love is when I see former students and they make a point to say hi and share a memory or a recollection of something from my class. Knowing that I had a small part in their educational journey makes it all worthwhile. I know education is ever changing, and I'm blessed to work with colleagues who make every day enjoyable regardless of what the day may bring. I'm very honored to receive the award of Educator of the Month. And as always, we are looking for more and more nominations, so we said to our community, make sure you're checking out our Facebook page, our website, and our weekly as we have opportunities for that. With that being said, how about a big giant round of applause for Miss Jenny Meyer? Ms. Meyer, who do you have here with you tonight?
My MCS family.
Okay, well, very, very good. So we're going to take one moment and we're going to go ahead and grab a picture with you, and then if folks would like to go, they can go, but that way you can make those moves as well. So I'll have you shift on over there. I know Ms. Duffy's going to help us as well. Just sit right over there and we'll take that picture. You can take your certificate, and I'll hold this for you. All right. First picture is with just Ms. Meyer, and then the next picture is with her family from FCS. Sorry, guys. Thank you so much. Would you mind taking the picture as well? All right, all those who join Ms. Meyer, would you come on up for this picture? Come on up, come on up. You're here for a reason. Come on, let's go. I knew you'd be resistant to flag. All right, pull together, team. Pull together. There you go.
I may have to abstain on you.
Shorty, you gotta switch over.
Since we're good friends. You may not have a vote. That's what I say.
All right, one more time for Ms. Meyer.
Tremendous athlete.
Her sister, Becky.
Becky too.
Have a great night. There are some chairs that have opened up if anyone would like to fill in. With that being said, we're going to switch over to our winter athlete, musician, sponsor group, all those in between, as we take a moment to recognize some students from our middle school and our high school. I'd like to welcome up Mr. Liggett. I think he's here somewhere, as well as his team members who are going to do the middle school recognition. Come on up, sir.
Good evening. How's everybody doing? Okay.
Great.
All right, we'll get going. We've got we nominated 5 athletes from the winter sports. I reached out to the coaches and told them, kind of what this was about, and we have 2 basketball players, girls basketball players, and then 3 wrestlers. So I'd like to start with basketball first. 7th grade, Alice Bomer. I haven't been able to see her. There she is. And I reached out and asked to Coach Doral about, just give me a few words. Would you like her to come up here?
I would love her to sit right with you, and then she can come over to me when you're done.
Okay. He said Alice is so coachable and shows up every day to get better, and she improved each and every day at practice. So he enjoyed having you on the team. Thank you. 8th grade, Sarah Smith, basketball. And again, Coach said, Sarah has improved so much this year and always plays hard, and I will attest, I watched many of their games, obviously, and you did play hard all year, so nice job, thank you. And then for the wrestling, I don't know if you know it or not, but we host like the EIAC Middle School Wrestling Tournament where all 8 schools come from the conference. Basically, it's a middle school conference tournament. And so it's all day on a Saturday, and we had 3 overall winners of the EIAC tournament. And I'd like to introduce first 7th grader Lane Seal. She won the EIAC Junior High Wrestling Tournament at 95 pounds. You still at 95 pounds?
No.
No? Any words?
Do I get anything other than this?
Good.
You got a high five. Come and see.
Good question. Good question.
We have 8th grader Dylan Bolser at 113 pounds. And lastly but not least, at 215 pounds, the winner, Tristan Clark. And that will conclude our 8th graders and 7th graders from the junior high. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't stand up. Congratulations.
Nice job.
Congratulations.
Great job. Proud of you guys. Nice job. Amazing. Maybe a good certificate to Derry College. Would that be better?
That would be awesome.
Congratulations.
Good job.
We have
Good job, Allison. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good job.
And now Candace would like to recognize the choir and band students from the middle school as well.
Tonight, we have some of our middle school band and choir members here today. Our choir member, I don't think she can make it here today, but she is Destiny Quinlan, and she participated in solo and ensemble this year. So even though she's not here, let's give her a round of applause. And then our band students here tonight participated in solo and ensemble at Columbus East High School. They performed a solo by themselves or an ensemble with a group in front of a judge and received, all of our students here received either a gold or a silver medal. And our first student that I'd like to recognize is Branson McGee. And next we have Bridget Day. And we have Brooklyn Wall.
Oh, you skip, right?
Next we have Eli Johnson. Next we have Emma Ambergy. And Emily Pease. Grayson Willoughby. And Kylie Young. And these students, you'll hear some more from our high schoolers, but between the high school and the middle school, in the band department, we had over 65 students participate and represented our school really well that weekend. So thank you.
Congratulations. Good job.
Great job.
Congratulations.
Great job. Proud of you guys.
Awesome.
Great job.
Good job.
Great job.
Good job.
Proud of you guys. Good job.
Good job.
Great job.
Good job.
All of our middle school students, come on over. We're going to take that picture.
Are you taking a picture?
Here we go. Pull together, team. Pull together. Tight, tight, tight. Good. Make sure we have a window. You're fine.
Normally I do, but.
Perfect. Beautiful.
John, how you doing?
All right, let's do it. You guys are awesome.
I'm good. It's good to see you. Main man, buddy. You doing okay?
Don't leave. Second one. This stuff is gonna make you famous.
That's not what I wanted to hear.
Oh, I'm telling you.
All right, we got a third one. Stay put.
Hear that, Shades?
All right, middle school families, you guys are welcome to step out if you want.
Thank you.
You're there.
You're there.
I know.
Yes, we do.
See you guys.
Yearn for those days. Dustin.
Some of these people I've never
Too many Dustins.
seen. Bye. Because they all.
No.
One of the Dairy Cottage gift card. Yeah, we had to pick up our game a little bit here.
All right, Fred, we have a number of seats opened up. You're welcome to the South. Join us up front. The South is going to take us through some of our high school recognitions. Hold on one second. Come on in, friends. Yep, come on in. We got plenty of seats. Ish. All right. Miss South, go ahead, take up.
All right, good evening. I have the distinct pleasure of announcing and recognizing the winter sports, choir, band, and drama celebrations for FCHS. Not only have these students maintained a full schedule, they've taken Ivy Tech classes, and they're involved in other organizational activities, but they're also employed right here in this community. These students have given their time, their talents, and their all to something they really enjoy. So if you would please, join me in celebrating our athletes for the winter season. Students, please stand to collect that of your certificate when you are called. First up, Mr. Cole Freeze. Mr. Cole Freeze, he's a senior wrestler, EIAC champion, sectional champion, regional champion, state qualifier, first team academic all-state, and third all-time in career wins.
Good job.
Next up, Mr. Colin Troyer. Colin is also a senior wrestler, EIAC champion, sectional champion, regional runner-up, state qualifier, first team academic all-state, and tied for all-time in career wins. Good job. Lila Westerman. She is our junior wrestler, sectional champion, regional qualifier, and first team academic all-state. Izzy McEwen Merritt. She is our sophomore wrestler, sectional runner-up, regional qualifier, and first team academic all-state. Good job. Sage Lacing. She is our sophomore wrestler, regional qualifier, and first team academic all-state. Miss Ruby Singer. Junior Girls State, EIAC All Conference, HBCA All District, IBCA All-State Honorable Mention, and HBCA Honors Court. Very good. Madeline Sunderhouse. Miss Madeline Senior Girls Basketball, IBCA All-District, IBCA All-State Honorable Mention, ICGSA Academic All-State Honorable Mention, and HBCA Honors Court. Good job. Isaiah Kemp. Isaiah Senior Boys Basketball, EIAC All Conference, and also Team Offensive MVP. Glenn Gilman. Glenn is Senior Boys Basketball, Team Defensive MVP. Next up for our cheerleaders, Madison Middendorf. Madison is our senior cheerleader, second-time team captain, and she is our 4-year letter winner. Emma Rosenberg. Senior cheerleader, team captain, and 4-year letter winner as well. Thank you. Callie Ward. She's also our senior cheerleader, team captain, and 4-year letter winner as well. Kiana Madden. She's our senior cheerleader, team captain, and 4-year letter winner as well. Megan Foll. Senior Dads Cats, 3-time team captain, 4-time state champion, 1-time national champion, and 1-time solo national champion.
Let's go.
Brianna Gagner. Senior Dance Cats, 3-time captain, 4-time state champion, 1-time national champion, and also 1-time solo national champion. Lainey Westerfield. Senior Dance Cats, team captain, 4-time state champion, and 1-time national champion. We also have Rachel Ruff. Junior gymnast, qualified for regionals as a sophomore, battled through injuries all this year, but she did a fantastic job representing FC all season long. And Evan Ralph. Evan is junior hockey, representing FCCSC in the USA National Hockey High School Tournament.
Let's go.
Thank you to all of our senior, junior, sophomore, and even freshman athletes this year. You did fantastic.
Congratulations. Job done.
So where do you go to practice, Miami? They coach over there? Good job. Nice job. Outstanding.
Great job. Good job, Tiana. Great job. Good job. Good job. Great job. Great job. Great job. Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Great job.
What a career.
Good job.
Great career.
Good job. Oh, hey, and I enjoy your post so much.
All right, all these athletes.
Great job.
Congratulations. We have more names to go. I know you're getting proud of it. Would you mind sitting down just for a moment? I want to make sure we keep honoring, and then we'll do a group picture at the end. Let's do that.
Our next group of students that we are recognized this evening will be representing the choir, the band, and also the drama club. Please welcome Mr. Robert Williams Choir Corps students, Olivia Clark, Ayla Lanesh, and also Stacy Angelo. This past September, the Symphonic Choir attended the first annual East Central Indiana Choir Honors Choir. They rehearsed all day with the special director and performed with Batesville and East Central choirs at the evening concert. It was a great experience, and we hope to attend again this year. During the first semester, the choir department had their fall concert in October at FCHS and the winter concert in December. In October, Ayla Lanesh auditioned, and she was chosen to participate in the Indiana All-State Honors Choir. She performed with over 200 other students from all over the state in Fort Wayne on January the 18th during the Indiana Music Educators Conference. The following students attended District Solo and Ensemble at East Central on February the 1st. The Symphonic Choir Ensemble with Riley Scottoketty both received silver ratings for their performances in Group 1. Willa Bruns received a gold for her piano solo. Isaac Johnson, Sophia Collins, Elena Vogel, Natalie Flint, and Sarah Brimhall and Destiny Quinlan all received golds on their vocal solos. The students who received gold ratings in Group 1 at District Solo and Ensemble on February 1st attended State Solo and Ensemble Saturday, February 22nd at Perry Meridian High School in Indianapolis. Austin Robinson received a silver rating for his solo performance. Stacey Angelo received, and Ava Reese and Haley Walson also received gold ratings for their performances. The treble choir also received a gold rating for their ensemble performance. This was the first time the treble choir attended state competition in FCHS history and brought home a gold. Treble choir members who were state are Carly Ball, Stacey Angelo, Haley Walson, Adrian Estes, Lainey Newell, Sarah Brimhall, Jasmine Boyer, Kendra Grogan, Tavia Pennington, Alea Vogel, Audrey Marshall, and Sophia Collins. And a special congratulations goes to Ayla Nash for receiving a gold with a distinction classification for her performance missing a perfect score by 1/2 of a point. On March the 6th, the high school choir department held their annual Jazz Pops concert. The FCHS Symphonic Choir earned a Group 2 gold rating at the ISSMA Jazz Contest in March the 8th of Indian Creek High School. The Symphonic Choir has been attending jazz contests regularly for the last few years with great success. The FCHS Choir Concert and Treble Choir with ladies of the Symphonic Choir will be attending the District Choir Contest on April the 26th. If one or both groups receive a gold rating, we will be in line to receive the Indiana State School Music Association All-School Choral Award again this year. The choir, of course, will end its year with our spring concerts and awards on May the 13th for the high school and May 15th for the middle school, both at 7. The high school spring concert was highlight seniors with solo performances, and I hope you all can make it. Next up, representing the Drama Club under the leadership of Mrs. Tamara Craver is Isaac Johnson, Olivia Clark, Ayla Nesh, and also for you. The Drama Club at FCHS has been quite active this year, focusing on team building and our monthly meetings and working on the annual music production. They just completed performances this past weekend of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. Isaac Johnson played Prince Christopher, Olivia Clark, Cinderella, The Good Witch, Ayla Lanesh, and Queen Constantine, Miss Riley Scott O'Ketty. They all did a fine job and represented FCHS very well. The Drama Club students have participated in 2 fundraisers and have earned $2,500 to support this project. In addition, the officers presented 4 and were awarded 2 generous grants from the Franklin County Community Foundation to purchase additional wireless microphones and to assist with the funding of the live orchestra for the musical. Each year, the Drama Club also offers a scholarship to seniors, and those applications are currently being evaluated by a panel of FCHS faculty. The Drama Club will end the year with elections for next year's officers and with our annual awards ceremony early in May. Lastly, representing Mr. John Johnson's music classes are Brooklyn Reams, Jacob Prout. These 2 seniors have also delved into the drama program and also other music courses with FCHS with success. March was Music in Our Schools Month. The music department at Franklin County High School provides many opportunities for students to learn, perform, and also create. The music curriculum in our school has more options than most of our similar-sized schools in Indiana. The program is divided into 3 categories: ensemble, applied instruction, and also classroom electives. The ensemble classes include the band and choirs at FCHS. These classes allow students to develop musical skills within a larger group of students. These classes give various performances throughout the year. The applied instruction classes include piano, guitar, music technology program. These classes work to build skills either on instruments or in music creation and production. These classes are 1 semester, and they can be taken multiple times for students wishing to continue to develop the skills learned in these programs. The classroom elective classes happen to be music history and also that of music theory. These courses are designed to give students a deeper experience in the music or culture. These courses are open to anyone, but are highly recommended for students who wish to pursue careers in music. The courses also prepare students for the study of music in collegiate level. The FCHS and the FCMS band departments participate in Indiana State School Music Association's Instrumental Solo and Ensemble Contest on Columbus on Saturday, February the 8th. The bands had over about 60 students to participate in the contest with a total of 48 different events. The students were very successful, earning a total of 43 gold and 5 silver medals for these events. Sophomore percussionist Sophia McCollum earned a gold medal in the hardest level of the difficulty and secured a spot in the state solo and ensemble contest. At the state contest, Sophia had an incredible performance and was awarded gold for her solo. As you can see, there are great things happening at FCHS, with our students at the very core of what we do. They develop skills, they prepare for their futures, they excel, and they enjoy it. Let's continue to support our students here and help them to work through their journey at FCHS. Congratulations to you all.
I just want to say one quick thing. I was going to say it later when we go over the grants and donations, but since they're here and they're probably going to be leaving, I just wanted to, again, congratulate everyone on the play this weekend. My family had a chance to go again this year. We saw Shrek last year. They did an awesome job, the cast and the crew. Like I said, I saw some of the members here. We're going to talk about the donation later, as Ms. South mentioned. So, again, great job. I hope everyone got a chance to see it. If you guys would like to say anything real quick about that.
I thought it was incredible.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it immensely.
I enjoyed it too. It was actually the first one I've ever been to, and my daughter's in the high school too, and we went home singing because we enjoyed it so much. So thank you guys. It was great.
One more time for these guys. We're going to have this group go straight over for their picture. We'll take that picture, then we'll take our...
Great job.
Keep working hard.
Great job.
Work hard.
Great job.
Great job.
Great job.
Congratulations.
Great job. Great job. Great job. It's all right.
Good job. Kim, you fell off.
Humpty Dumpty. That's what I feel like with all these sitting.
Yeah.
My teacher just almost ready to go. That's not too bad.
I haven't heard it.
Stay put, we got another set. Step up right after her.
When can I look at this Esther camp?
All right, let's make that big
Easter
shift.
house.
Our athletic group, come on up. High school athletic group, come on up. Thank you so much. We'll make that
Church.
real quick.
Do you remember that?
No.
That's not the same, but that just brought up that.
Yeah, memory. A trigger, they call that a trigger.
Yeah.
All right, make sure you leave room for everybody coming by. High
That's
school
gonna,
students face this way. Got our big group here. Got a couple folks thinking by it. Heads up on that.
I can hear you.
Couple more folks thinking by. All right, here we go. Pull tight for me. Shift a little bit. I need you from right over here.
what is that?
All right.
Me, I just did this.
You can stand. Big smile. Here we go.
Thank you for everything.
I appreciate it. Thanks for helping.
Thank you.
Stag only.
Hey, how are you doing? Man, it's been a while.
Stag only.
Where you been hiding?
Okay. Good.
You all right?
Stag only.
The funny thing is, I was like literally had
No more
to
pictures?
shut it off. I'm like,
Last chance. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much.
Really? Is that right? Great job. Should make you proud.
Yes, y'all need.
We've added a Travis Senior clause to the agenda.
How are you? Good. Good.
See you guys. I'm sure I'll see you here in a couple of weeks, probably for prom pictures.
yeah, that's coming up. We talked about that. She's got tournaments.
She has a tournament Friday, Saturday,
Oh,
and
wow.
Sunday, but we decided not to go Saturday. We're not gonna
Yeah.
be rushing around. It's in Hamilton, Street. I want her to be able to take the time to
Yeah.
get ready.
I said if she plays in the morning, she'll be good.
Typical dad comment right there, right?
That sounds like Chad.
It's true. It's true.
Come in here like it.
Then, she got beat up this past weekend.
Hey,
Can you watch this online or no? Where do I go to watch it? Okay. I'm gonna look it up. Okay, bye. Bye.
Okay, next up is personnel, or I'm sorry. Next up is the consent agenda items. It's minutes, expenditures, and resignations. Enclosure number 1. Any questions or open to a motion?
Probably need to say it again. A little loud behind them.
The consent agenda items, minutes, expenditures, and resignations. Enclosure number 1 for discussion and board action. Do we have a motion?
I make the
Ms.
motion to
Brennan.
approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Wilson. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. 6-0. Next is personnel new hires. Mr. Gearing?
Yes, sir. We're going to read through a series of names here, and then we'll take a bit of a pause. So, under personnel new hires, we have Ashley Tebby, principal at BES, Samantha Stover, special education paraprofessional at BES, Terry Preston, custodian at LES, David Kirk, custodian at FCMS, Johanna Roberts, special education paraprofessional at FCMS, Travis Esterkamp, in-school suspension supervisor at FCMS, Morgan Fitro, paraprofessional at FCHS, Ashley Westhider, guidance counselor at FCHS, which I know we're very excited about having that for next year. Been waiting for a long time. Brandon Cowan, special education teacher at FCHS, Travis Singer, maintenance technician at FCCSC, Rick Linville, technology director at FCCSC.
That is for discussion and board action. Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
Mr. Simonson, motion to approve recommendations. Second, Ms. Foster. Any discussion? We are still keeping Mr. Singer even though he let his phone go off.
Yes.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. 6-0. And with that, we will take a brief pause.
Team, as is tradition, whenever we approve an administrator, I'd like to introduce them to you. So I'll have Ashley come on up and join me here. I said bring everybody. She brought herself.
They're at baseball,
They're all at baseball. I just want to welcome Ashley to the administrative team here starting next year as the principal at BES. We're very excited. She was one of a number of candidates that we went through, and she rose to the absolute top, and we're very blessed, and we're excited as a team as to what she can bring. I want to let her introduce herself to you, a little bit about her past, her background, and maybe even just a moment of a vision for the future. Go ahead.
I'm very excited. It was an unexpected transition for me. I love my current position, but I'm super excited to bring my knowledge into Brookville Elementary. Obviously, I'm dedicated to the community. My kids go to school here. I live here. So I am a transplant from Oxford. I've lived here for 20 years. I have two kids that go, one at Brookville Elementary, the other one at Franklin County Middle School. And I've taught at Talawanda for the last 8 years, and I'm currently teaching first grade. I love the little kids. I can't think of myself at any other age level. I've had the pleasure of doing a lot of administrative work this year with my principal. So that's been really nice, and I look forward to bringing my knowledge of literacy into the elementary. I think that, one of our most important things for kids at that age is teaching them how to read so that they can be successful. And I also look forward to my dedication to PBIS and everything I've learned where I currently am and bringing that into the school system. So.
Let's welcome her. I want to shake your hand, so if you want to make your way around.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we'll let her get on to baseball. All my stuff is going to make you famous.
Welcome to set this down too. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. And congratulations again.
Yeah, thanks.
Next is personnel extracurricular, coaches and summer school.
All right, I have a bit of a list. I'm going to go top to bottom along the way. Here we go. I have Maggie Reffel. Ooh, how'd I do? Riffle. I'm so close. Fifth, sixth grade cheer at BES. April Collette, athletic director at LES for next school year. Carol Blake, art sponsor LES. At the high school for coaches, we have Brandon Cowan, head girls golf coach. Marissa Mears, volunteer girls golf coach. Derek Kolb, head boys tennis coach. Jake Serber, head boys soccer coach. Travis Selm, varsity assistant boys soccer coach. Tyler Haberbush, volunteer assistant boys soccer coach. Daniel Ward, volunteer assistant boys soccer coach. Hannah Suber, head girls soccer coach. Michael Wiseman, volunteer assistant girls soccer coach. Wes Gilman, head boys football coach. Adam Kelly, varsity assistant football A. Tony Flum, varsity assistant football B. Justin Seals, varsity assistant football C. Mike Rauch, varsity assistant football D. Stone Laughlin, head freshman football coach. Steve Moorhead, head freshman football coach. Randy Bolos, volunteer football coach. Adam Kelly Jr., volunteer football coach. Joe Halloran, freshman football assistant coach. Christy Kuntz, head varsity girls volleyball coach. Jalen Rogers, varsity assistant girls volleyball coach. Craig Roos, varsity assistant girls volleyball coach. Lauren Stacy, JV and assistant girls volleyball coach. Nick Van Oven, head freshman girls volleyball coach. Alan Apsley, head varsity cross country co-ed coach. Kyle Van Meter, head girls basketball coach. Zach Frank, varsity assistant girls basketball coach. Michael Kristoff, JV girls basketball coach. Abigail Woods, head freshman girls basketball coach. Mark Foster, head boys basketball coach. Derek Stang, varsity assistant boys basketball coach. Dylan Huber, JV boys basketball coach. Brett Rauch, head freshman boys basketball coach. Michelle Selm, gymnastics volunteer assistant coach, last group here. Heather Bryant, Play-Doh teacher for summer school. Stone Laughlin, physical education teacher for summer school. Linda Adams, physical education special services paraprofessional for summer school. Terry Hornberger, architecture teacher for summer school.
This is for discussion and board action, and as we discussed previously and decided as a board, any recommendations that are requested to be pulled out will be pulled out separate, so I'm requesting that the 4 recommendations for girls basketball and assistant, JV, and freshman be pulled out and voted on separately. We can vote on the rest of them as a all up or down.
Does that have to be a motion?
I don't believe so, but I'll make a motion.
So the motion
That was the agreement when we changed the consent agenda. It was if any board member wanted to pull something out separate, we would.
Yeah, my only question is that since it's a deviation from the original agenda, to me, it should require a motion.
I don't think we can go wrong with a motion. I don't think it's a bad idea.
I will make a motion to separate the girls' basketball recommendations. There's 4 of them, and vote separately on that.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Well, I'm to assume that the recommendations for boys' basketball, as I understand it, are still in place. Is that true?
Everything else is going to be voted on together, like as we have
Yeah, I mean,
previously.
the recommendations for Mr. Van Meter, Mr. Franks, and the freshman coach, they have been recommended by Mr. Riley and Mrs. South.
Yes, they have.
Okay.
To be clear with the group, so we're always on the same page, we have a motion and a second around the following being just pulled out to the side for a separate vote.
Okay.
So this vote would be to have a separate vote, which would be Mr. Van Meter, Mr. Frank, Mr. Kristoff, and Ms. Woods. That group of 4, that is the vote that is on the table now around moving it to a separate group. We've had a motion and a second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. 4. All those opposed? 2. You have names.
Okay.
I have a question. Adam Kelly Jr. and Adam Kelly, is that the same person?
No, they're separate, and we can. That's what we'll do that group now. So, but no, they're it's the father and son.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, to be clear, we have now shifted those 4 folks that we mentioned before to a separate vote. The next step is to move forward with the remaining names, unless someone else has anyone else they want to pull separate. So I will need, we will need a first, second discussion and vote on the remaining names unless there's a different process.
And so floor is open to a motion to separate anyone else or a motion otherwise on the remainder of the group.
So we're looking for a motion on the rest of the group.
Yes,
besides those 4 names?
correct.
Okay. I would move to approve that motion.
We have a first, do we have a second? Ms. Holman. Any other discussion on the remainder?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you've got all these multiple coaches, okay? I mean, are they all splitting the salary? Are they all salary?
Some of them are volunteers, some of them are splitting salaries, some of them are having an individual. For example, varsity assistant football A, that's its own contract,
Right.
as an example, but you may see people splitting head freshman football coach, 2 names, and that's what that would look like.
And
And if,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
If I'm not mistaken, I think sometimes if there's like 3 in that position, sometimes the coaches themselves got together and said, I'm gonna take this, this, and this. That might not be on our check wise, but
They would still have to come through as a volunteer then.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I don't know what they do with their money once they get it.
I know.
Maybe this is more what you're asking. If there's 3 for 2 positions, they can agree to
Exactly.
pool it and split it evenly,
And
I
that's what
believe.
we've
Yes.
always done that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sorry, I just want to clarify that no matter if they're they're always background checked and vetted the same as anyone else, whether they split the stipend, that's, like Mr. Gehring said, that's however they come to that agreement.
And I was gonna say something else. A discussion I did have with Mr. Riley regarding these recommendations. Not everybody knows all these people, so I've asked in the future just to put on there a note, whether it's a first-year coach for a 2-year contract or a renewal, just so everybody knows kind of where that's coming from. If anybody has an issue or concern with that, like I said, just, not everybody knows everybody. Great, I mean, theoretically speaking, Mr. Burris is the only new board member, so, yes.
Do we
Mr. Simons.
require first aid and CPR training out of all the staff and/or coaches?
Yes, part of their certification is to have that
Okay,
training.
all right. My concern there is that about 90% of the injuries happen in practice.
Sure.
Yeah, so,
We also have a fantastic training staff that's available.
yeah, I just was wondering about the
I
coverage.
think the IHSAA made that,
A prerequisite?
yes.
Yeah.
That and/or concussion protocols.
yeah.
We have a motion and a second,
We
correct?
do.
Any other discussion?
To be clear, the next vote is for the remainder of the group as approval for the remainder of the group's contracts.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. 6-0. Have I been saying 7-0? I'm
You
sorry.
have not? All right, so right now, we have a group that's been pulled to the side. That motion passed. And so we circle back to that group. Dustin Gehring recommends those 4 individual contracts as listed.
The other step I would like to take is to have the recommendation of the head coach first and separate the other 3, simply because we should be choosing the head coach first, and then if that's who they choose as their staff, then we will move forward with that. Does that make sense? So I'm asking to have the recommendation for the head coach separate and alone, and then the assistants after.
To ensure that we follow protocol that we previously established a moment ago about pulling things aside.
I would like to make a motion to separate this group of 4 into the first discussion or recommendation will be for the head coach, Mr. Van Meter, and the second will be for the remaining 3, Mr. Frank, Mr. Kristoff, and Ms. Woods.
All right, we have a first regarding that move.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any way that we would be able to take this particular agenda item and table it until the next board meeting?
So that would require a motion, a second, and a vote to table it, my recommendation. So the superintendent's brought the recommendation forward, right?
Okay.
It's on the agenda. If there's an action to table it for a month, for example, that itself would need its own.
It's
Right, and just to be clear, right now, what I have in front of me is the separation of head coach with a first so far.
Can I make?
So if I've made a motion to separate the 4 into 1 and 3, if you want to table that,
You could rescind your motion.
that would just be that motion, then we would move on to all of them as a package. So
Okay.
if you're wanting to table the whole thing, I would wait till the next. So my motion is to separate it into the head coach and then the remaining three.
Is there a second to that motion?
I move we table that
Motion.
request.
Okay, so we have competing motions.
But she hadn't made hers yet. I'm making money on the basis of separating the coaches.
Tell me more.
Yeah,
You want to
I want to table that,
table that.
yes.
Okay. Now we're getting a little convoluted
Indeed,
in our
we
motions
are.
on top of
Indeed,
motions.
we are. I don't know why we just don't make a motion to table the item being discussed.
To be clear, I want to be fair.
Yeah.
There's been a motion that's been put on the table. If that motion was rescinded, then we can move
Yeah,
forward with that
that's true.
process.
I agree.
If that motion isn't rescinded, then we still are looking for a second and a vote around that,
Yes, I agree.
that way.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so right now I have a first around separating the head coach from the other three. Do I have a second to that? Otherwise, that stops there. All right, I don't have a second. Last call? Last call, okay. So without a second, that motion stops there. From there, we have an opportunity for a new motion, if there's any.
So
Right.
th-
Go
So
ahead.
now I can make a motion to table it to the next meeting.
So we have
As a
a,
whole, yes.
we have a motion to table the voting of 4 individuals, those 4 recommended by the superintendent, to the next meeting. That's a first by Brandy Wilson. Do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Kim? Come back to discussion.
Is there any discussion on the motion to table?
I would just like some more time.
And I would like to add that I am confused because we have recommendations being made, and they seem to be of little value right now. So I think waiting and trying to sort through this, I agree with Brandy.
Any other discussion? I'll take 1 second to discuss as well, if it's okay with the team. I don't take recommendations lightly. I have a team of folks who have brought forth names based on criteria that they've established. Those folks are also trusted members. So your superintendent is recommending based on the expertise of 2 individuals that say, these are the folks that we want to move forward with. I understand the board has a decision to make, and I don't take offense to that. I don't. But I just want to say out loud, my recommendation hasn't changed. My recommendations are these 4 individuals based on the vetting and criteria established by our athletic director and our principal. And I've reviewed the evaluation as well myself. So I have 0 holdback in recommending them now and then again in a month. So from me, just know, my recommendation is that we move forward with these 4 individuals as listed, but I do honor the board's responsibility. We have a first and a second.
Any other discussion on the motion and second to table this agenda item?
I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this or not, and you can tell me no.
I can't till after you ask it, but
Okay. But I'm curious as to why you want to table.
I would like to, find out just a little bit more information because and tell me to stop. I've talked and received some information from some parents, and I just would like to talk to the individual about that. Was recommended by Mr. Riley, for me to have that conversation, and then another one of the parents had reached out. So I just would like a little bit of time, just to make sure I know that I'm making the right decision, because
Fair
I've
enough.
kind of battled with it a lot over the last couple of days, and I just want to know that I'm doing the right thing, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. I'm sorry, I needed to know why I was saying yea or nay.
Well, also like to reiterate, and I appreciate, Dustin, what you had to say, the fact that historically, my understanding that they both have been highly recommended, evaluated. They've never been disciplined for any reason. So, and they both have the recommendation of Mr. Riley, Ms. South. So, I have a concern about why we're not supporting them. So, okay.
Any other discussion?
To be clear, the vote that we're about to take is to table this item till next month. That is the vote that is about to happen.
All those in favor of tabling this agenda item, raise your right hand. 5. All those opposed? 1. Ms. Brennan?
Item is tabled.
Next up is grants and donations.
Yep. Ms. Craver from the drama director is requesting permission to accept the following. A grant in the amount of $3,000 from the FCC Foundation, which is the Brookville Foundation Lucille Ernst Culture Club, for the drama department to upgrade and repair their microphones, and also a grant in the amount of $7,000 from the Franklin County Foundation, also in parentheses, Clayton Clay John Seal Memorial Endowment and Lucille Ernst Culture Club for the live orchestra funding. And then the second grant so far is Tanya Wertz is asking for the JAG teacher FCHS is requesting permission to accept a donation in the amount of $500 from Tri Kappa Beta Eta chapter for the food pantry. And all of those are there. So I would need a first, second, discussion, and vote.
I want you to say that, that club again, Phi Beta.
What are you doing to me right now?
Tri Kappa Beta Eta.
You know why, right?
No.
Is that right?
No,
Tri Kappa
I'm
Beta
a
Eta?
Delt. I'm a Delt.
Wow.
I move.
Thank you. I have a first. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. JB. And then discussion?
Any discussion? I'll reiterate what I said earlier quickly. You know, the grant donation for the orchestra, they were phenomenal. Kind of left me wondering, do we normally have, does anybody know, is it normally the high school band that does that? And we got
No.
this, or?
They bring them to junior high.
Yeah.
Katie, what were you going to say?
Did you ask who was playing that evening?
No, I know it wasn't the high school band this
No.
weekend. I'm asking if it normally is. I wasn't sure.
It
Because I
has-
went last
it has
year, and I mean, they
varied.
did a great job last year too, so I didn't know if this was the normal thing
It
to get
has
an outside
varied, and
orchestra.
some that were in it this year. In fact, I'd asked one of my girls, I said, you know, why weren't you up there? And she said, we had an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good.
No, it was a great job by the cast, crew, and the orchestra. So
wonderful.
it's great that we got the donation. Sorry, open to motion?
I have a question.
I got a motion.
I mean, all the money is funneled through Kendra, via Kendra, then via the clubs, right?
Andrew, you want to speak to that?
So, these right here, because they are well, I'm looking, so the orchestra, if they run through me if they're educational purposes. So the way I'm reading these, the drama department, yes, this will come through me. But if it's a club or an ECA, it would go directly to the high school. The high school treasurer. So anything educational would come through us here in this office.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so we do have a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor of approving the grants and donations, raise your right hand. 6-0. Ms. Kendra, financial reports.
The education fund balance as of March 31st, 2025 was $6,765,346.48. A year ago, this balance was $5,456,582.71. The operations fund balance as of March 31st, 2025 was a negative $268,705.77. A year ago, this balance was $3,286,488.11. The rainy day fund balance as of March 31st was $164,641.37. A year ago, this balance was $1,068,712.84. The investment interest earned year-to-date as of March 31st was $119,895.36. This is compared to $154,899.79 a year ago. There are a few things I would like to point out. We did do a transfer from education to operations fund in the amount of $600,000, which was approved last fall. The board approved every year along with the budget the authority for me to go up to 15%. We do not do the full 15%. We only did about $600,000, which is about 5%. And that was just to carry us a little bit longer in the operations fund until we receive the property tax income in May and June. As you can also tell that a year ago, the operations fund balance was much larger. That is due to the bond reimbursement that we had, and that money was sitting there, and it has since been moved to the rainy day fund. And it's currently sitting there waiting for use. Also, the interest earned year to date, that amount does reflect 4 accounts from FCN where their interest was not deposited until March 3rd. So the February's interest wasn't reflected in February, it was actually in March. So the $119,000 is reflected of February and March, including in that. So we did get the interest from February, it was just a few days late.
That is for discussion only. Is there any discussion?
Excuse me, Kendra, what's our Indiana Trust interest rate again?
I believe it's right around 4%. I haven't checked it in the last couple
That's okay.
days,
It's all
but
right.
it's roughly around 4%, a little over 4, I believe.
Okay, thank you.
And just for reference, our bank accounts are earning a little above 3%, I believe a 3.3. So we are our large bulk of our money is at Trust Indiana, and it's earning the most interest there.
Yeah, that's good.
I can tell you, for the Trust Indiana, daily yield is at 4.29 or 4.3. Year-to-date yield is 4.34, 7-day 4.3, 30-day 4.3. So 4.3 roughly across the board right now.
Will you call them and see if we can personally put money into that?
I did have lunch with Daniel Elliott, the treasurer of the state, a week or so ago. I forget exactly when, and we did discuss the Trust Indiana quite a bit. But no, we can't personally put money in there.
No insider trading.
That is for
Pelosi
municipalities and government entities. Again, that was for discussion only. If there's no other discussion, we'll move on. Kendra?
The cafeteria report, the cafeteria fund balance as of March 31st was $203,507.46. This is compared to $507,951.39 a year ago. The latchkey fund balance as of March 31st was $15,791.39. This is compared to $19,396.50 a year ago.
Again, this discussion only. I'm going to ask a question again about latchkey, and I'm the biggest culprit. I feel bad for the women, or not women, everybody. There may be some men, it's usually women. They're keeping track of this on pen and paper. Is there a way to get an app or anything where they can just check a kid in and it, adds it up and we can make payment? I mean, again, this is me asking personally because I'm the biggest.
So this actually
culprit.
circles back to our school-based treasurer that's there. And we don't have the means just yet to accept credit card payment at the school that would be for that account. So the folks that you see up front are doing the tally. Then they give it to the secretary, who then keeps track of all dollars. Anytime you use credit card machines, we know there's a cost that goes with it. It just hasn't been the thing that we've chased down just yet. So let me
No,
look into
and I
that
don't
and see
even-
what's possible.
And again, this isn't anything against them. Like I said, I feel sorry for them because you go in and it's all pen and paper, keeping track of who's there, what days and everything. I know that's also used to sign the kids out, and I'm not even saying credit cards, just some kind of electronic
It's served us for many decades, sir, honestly, pen and paper.
Okay.
I have two
Go ahead.
questions, if I may, okay? One is cafeteria report. Why was there such a deviation between the two numbers?
Our food service director has done a lot for kind of revamping the kitchen staff and area over the last year. There's been purchases such as, I believe, a new freezer, not a walk-in, but like just a regular freezer.
For salads and.
Yeah,
Peanut
there
butter
have
and
been some large purchases made, as well as the transition from the normal school lunch that we were at last year to now the CPE where all the students are free. Not saying that it's bad, it's just been a transition that the reimbursements will catch up, but it's just been a transition period. No concern over here at all. But we're, just revamping of the cafeterias, of just new equipment, and also just the transition to the CPE program.
It was nice that she brought the Kona ice machines
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
And I know the staff really appreciated that, so I just wanted to make that. My other question is again, for me, is why don't we report preschool? We have preschool in 2 buildings and maybe 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they're in our buildings, right?
Yeah, but
we never see any numbers on those.
Yeah. So Laurel is actually paid through Title money that Title I is funded with. Laurel Preschool is funded through Title, and then Brookville Elementary is actually funded through our special education because it is a special education preschool. And they do allow just a few typical peers every year, but other than that, they are grant funded. If we are able to officially open the Mount Carmel, which all doors are heading that way, then that will be self-funded, so we can report that in the future.
I just was wondering how they regulate the money and know where the money is.
Yeah, so that would be our only program that would be self-funded through actual payments of our parents. The other ones are grant funded.
Thank you.
I do want to say one thing about the cafeteria. I popped in there a few days ago or a week ago or whatever. When we were over there, it was the kids would stand in line, wait for their lunch. They would get maybe 6 or 7, 8 minutes to eat their lunch. But those girls are getting those kids through so fast, and they're having actually time to sit down and eat their lunch. And I mean, it's just so very, very different. And the kids can enjoy and maybe even talk while they eat. So, it's a good deal over there.
Yeah.
You still have 3 lunch hours? You do?
Okay. Statements from the public and employees. We do have one individual signed up to speak. If you would like to address the board of school trustees, please sign in below. In order to address the board, individuals must sign in prior to the start of the meeting. Individuals that have signed in are given 3 minutes to speak. A maximum of 5 individuals may address the board regarding the same topic, issue, or concern. Individuals are asked to avoid repetition and shall not be permitted to use the names of individual employees or students. Personal attacks on employees or students will not be tolerated. And we are here to listen. We did get a small timer, just so it's not us trying to cut you off.
It won't matter.
I'm gonna set it for 2:45 or something, just to give a heads up.
Curtis, I'll let you know as we get closer. Fair enough?
Wave hands, I think.
Yes, first, is Mr. Francis Brumback.
First of all, I'd like to thank the board for tabling the hiring of the girls' coach basketball program. I think that anytime you're doing away with an entire program, when you have all your administrators asking for that coach, that should probably be disclosed to the public. I'd like to speak today about transparency. I've asked Mr. Gehring several times for the agenda online, that I would be able to see the financials so I could follow that. And it came to my attention today that the consent agenda goes before public comments. If I had a comment about the individuals they were going to hire, I could not make that beforehand. So that would not be practical. The other thing that I'd like to see, and again, these are just my likes, is I'd like to see this board go through school boardmanship training. I'm going to be emailing you each the code of ethics of the School Board Association for what board members should do. And there are a couple there that they really need to pay attention to. You know, this board is fractured, I can tell, everyone can tell. And there's got to be some happy medium in there, and I think board training would help with that. And also understanding the responsibility of the board. To the best of my knowledge, some of you have never received that training for what a board member role is. So basically, those would be my requests, and I won't take any more of your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Francis.
Old business.
Listen.
Oh, nothing, I'm sorry. Nothing listed. New business, Mr. Gear.
Mr. Liggett, do you want to join us up? Mr. Liggett has a proposal. Is recommending the following course changes: removal of engineering and tech, removal of digital application responsibilities from the middle school schedule, adding digital citizenship, and adding health and wellness. Mr. Liggett, would you mind enlightening us on your thoughts?
Absolutely. Board of Trustees, thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk tonight. I really appreciate it. If you didn't know, back a little after Christmas time, Mrs. New and myself talked about getting the high school and the middle school together to talk about scheduling. Because when I came on, I looked at having 29 teachers in the building, and I thought that was a good thing, which is a good thing, but 13 of those teachers are part-time high school and part-time middle school. We have teachers in our building that teach 1 period, 2 periods, 3 periods, and 4 periods. And 4 periods sounds pretty good, but in relation to 4 periods, some of those 4-period teachers, they have 1 prep in our building. So it's kind of a catch-22 type of situation in relation to personnel in the building, taking ownership for that, being a half-time teacher, 1 period, 2, 3, 4-period teacher, that's kind of hard to do. So we kind of looked at in our meetings with the high school, different areas of concern from both points of view, from the middle school and the high school, and we found a couple catch-22s situation. The first one, according to the Indiana State Board of Education rules, there's certain criteria for having high school credit courses in the middle school. One of those criteria is a course offered for high school credit before grade 9 must be equivalent to an existing high school course and comply with the approved course description, cover the same Indiana academic standards as its high school counterpart course. And we found that digital applications and responsibilities, which we taught this year, which is the high school credit, there's no equivalent to that course at the high school. So therefore, according to the Indiana State Board of Education, we can't offer that course. And when I say that course, that would be digital applications and responsibilities, and that is a semester course. So one of my proposed changes would be to remove that course. In addition to removing that course, I would like to add what is called digital citizenship. This course will help to build school culture through visual announcements and yearbook formation experiences to foster a sense of community and student involvement. I would like it for it to be an elective course offered to the 8th grade only. And that would help Mrs. Mitchum, I think, in relation to yearbook formation, in addition to building school culture through morning announcements. Another course change recommendation would be to remove engineering and technology, which is a 1-semester course offered to 7th and 8th grade students,
Excuse me, Mr. Liggett.
yes.
Would you explain what that course is? That's not shop, is it?
No, it's not shop. It's
Okay.
computer-based.
All right.
It provides students with hands-on, problem-based learning opportunities through develop, use, and assess products related to engineering and technology. So it is computer-based. It's not a hands-on shop class. Okay. And finally, we'd like to add a health and wellness class, which would be a one-semester class for 8th grade as an elective. We're looking at that and not knowing how many kids would actually choose that because our protocols changed a little bit. We allow our kids to kind of choose their electives, not given electives. So we may, if given an opportunity, have a health class with 100 kids within the 8th grade that want that health class, which isn't a bad thing, is a good thing. We have a backup plan in relation to where teachers go in this scenario. So basically, we want to do away with digital applications and responsibilities, add digital citizenship, remove engineering and technology, and then add health and wellness.
I have a question. That digital citizenship, is that, did the state finally make that a requirement for the 7th and 8th grade for the citizenship, like they were supposed to learn?
It's
No.
more of a yearbook class.
No, this is more of a yearbook.
This is more of an elective yearbook / announcement
Okay.
course.
Well, 2 years ago, you know, they were talking about making that a requirement for the 7th and 8th graders, learning about the flag, so on and so forth. Okay, thank you.
All right, we have, the superintendent recommends listed, changes as listed. We would need a first, second, and discussion vote.
Floor is open for a motion.
So moved.
Motion to approve by Ms. Foster. We have a second, Ms. Holman. Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. 6-0. Thank you, Mr. Liggett.
Thank you, Mr. Liggett.
Next is recommendation for 60-month municipal lease for multifunctional devices.
Yep, so superintendent is bringing forth essentially our copier printer contract. We are up this spring, heading into the summer. At a meeting recently, the copiers were discussed at length with some updates along the way, and then we started a bidding process as well. The bidding process was in time at the end of our contract, not because there was significant issues that were causing us to go look elsewhere. We just had a bidding process. So the bidding process resulted in 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 total bids that were put in, all of which have their own advantages or disadvantages along the way. One of the things that I learned a lot about copier contracts, is that there's a contract called a fair market lease, which is what we're under currently and have been for the last 18 months. The end result of a fair market lease is that we have to pay to return the items if we were to switch companies, which adds a significant cost to any bidding process because we have to make room for that additional cost. As you can imagine, these are big machines, and you can imagine what that looks like. I am recommending that we no longer have a fair market lease, but rather do a municipal lease, and that will then have them in our ownership at the end of everything, and we can choose, therefore, after that, to do whatever we want with them, including prolonging our service agreement after 5 years, if we so choose. And so, Millennium has been a good company for us to work with. I've gotten to know them since landing here. And so with all that said, the superintendent's recommending that we move forward with Millennium under a municipal lease for 60 months for multifunctional devices as listed. Yeah, first, second, discussion, and vote.
Floor is open for a motion.
I
Ms.
move.
Holman, motion to approve. Do we have a second? Ms. Wilson? My only question so under this lease, within the 5 years, they cover all repairs?
This is part of a service agreement. It's just that if things are breaking down, they could replace the machine. Of course, they fix the machine. That is part of that process.
Yeah,
At
that
an
was gonna be
additional
my-
cost or included?
Yeah.
At an additional cost or
No,
included?
included.
Yeah, that was my question also. So they are still responsible for maintenance and repair?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
For the 5 years?
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
Yes,
At
sir.
the end of 5 years, they're ours, lock, stock, and barrel.
And then we can choose what we want with them. So we may, at that point, we may decide to move forward with a longer service agreement for 2 more years and not have the lease side of it, but rather just the service agreement side of things. we can choose at that point what we see fit.
How many items are in that bid? I mean,
There are 21 machines,
21 machines.
But it's for all five.
all 5 buildings.
Or
Yeah.
6.
Well, actually 6.
Including-
Yep. So, as a response to some of the concerns coming out of Brookville, I prompted the group to earn our business again. And so they were able to bring in a brand new machine and let BES try it out, hammer down on it a little bit because it's a very busy machine. And so they did provide that. It's had good feedback so far. We're still working on a couple of printer issues that we need, but ultimately, it's been a good machine. So we'll have another one of those machines at BES, and then of course everything else would be replaced along the way.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor, raise your right hand. 6-0. Next is agreement for educational and training program and capital improvements, the TIF agreement.
So just to be clear, the verbiage here, so this is something I brought to the board about a month ago, the letter from the redevelopment group that they're asking for that agreement. Just a little bit of history, coming out of Franklin County. They asked for us to be in an agreement together to move forward with the TIF as it was listed. That created some conversations and some meetings along the way, and then they brought forth essentially the TIF agreement with the school. All truth, schools don't have to have a TIF agreement because ultimately we just walk the path that's in front of us because we don't get a vote in this, as you realize along the way. Right. But I think there was some good faith wanting to be pushed out to say, hey, look, find a way to get together. One of the sticking points, if you will, is the language around up to 15% versus a commitment to provide 15%. That's really the sticking point of the whole thing. Under state law, they can give up to 15%. And truth, I want to take a moment and just say out loud, they have been wonderful to work with. I have been very blessed. I've met with them a number of times. They're supporting our endeavors. They've done a great job. In fact, our whole Portrait of a Learner was paid for by them in Brookville together, along with the Franklin County Commission. They've been a great partner, 100%. Part of my job is to protect the corporation, not just now, but for the future. And so the agreement came forth, and to be frank, the agreement really is what the state law says. Right. And so essentially that's now in our lap to say one of the following, which is one, no action, which means that we don't do anything. We just say thank you so much, and we'll continue to be in that relationship. Secondly is to move forward with the agreement, and therefore I would sign that on our behalf. Or third would be any other version of that. It's really their agreement that they're writing with us, but we certainly could have that conversation. So that was brought to the group a month ago with a sense of think about this for a month. And I think Sarah spoke to that ultimately it's the state law written in some legalese, if you will, along the way. I always want to say this out loud because they've been great to work with, and that has not changed for 1 second. And I've been very blessed to be in partnership with them. But it does essentially say this is what we're agreeing to for the future, up to 15%. So that is what is in front of you, and so ultimately it is one of the following: someone to make a motion to sign as is. We could make a motion to say essentially thank you very much and stay in our current understanding from the state law, or third, any other version. So someone would have to make a motion towards that, and that's what the move is. Mr. Simpson?
Would it be okay if we would ask Sarah if she has any other input?
I have no barrier to that whatsoever.
Okay.
Ms. Duffy, would you mind taking the microphone and give us any of your insight?
Mr. Simonson, there's been no change. There was no meeting in March.
Okay.
So there's been no discussion, no change.
Okay.
So I think at this point, the only thing is if you wanted an option was if the school board wants to come back and ask for a percentage, but why would you ask for a percentage less than 50? You wouldn't ask for anything less than 15%.
Yeah, thanks for.
Sarah, are they, that 1 year they made us decide what we were going to spend that on? Is that still in the agreement?
It's still in the India code that they would have to agree to what it's spent on. And the Indiana Code is very general language about educational or training. So you can fit a lot into it, but they
Okay.
would have to, the redevelopment commission would have to say, yes, this is a good project.
Thank you.
And so far, every time something's come forward, they have supported it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Good job explaining that, Dustin.
I will take it one step further and say that I believe there's 4 choices here, okay? Number 1, motion, second discussion to approve Mr. Gearing to sign and the board. Number 2, motion, second discussion to deny or say, no, we will not sign, which I don't think would be the best. I'm just putting that out there. 3 would be motion, second discussion to try to go back to the table and negotiate a different contract, but we don't really have any say-so in this. The last option that I will add as a 4th, if there is no motion, it just dies. And nothing happens, nothing changes. We still have this contract that, as Mr. Gearing said, is the state law. That's what they will follow. I will reiterate, as Mr. Gearing has discussed with me, we have a good relationship right now. We're not trying to ask for more or less. Again, as Mr. Gearing said, we're here to protect the school. Superintendents come and go. Every one of us comes and goes. Nothing against either of you down there, but those jobs come and go too. If we agree to sign something, the fear is down the road it could affect us in a negative way. So I will leave it at that, and the floor is open for a motion.
Okay, I'm a little confused now. Yeah. Okay, since you said that, I mean, are you still moving forward with your proposal?
So, to be clear, I actually didn't make a proposal there.
Okay.
It was an item for discussion and action, but there wasn't a recommendation from the superintendent. If you'd
Okay.
like a recommendation from me, I'm happy to give it, but I wanted to make sure we had a dialogue before I stand opposed to any of you, of course, regarding this issue.
Yeah. Yeah, well, my, anticipation or whatever, I mean, since Kevin said that, I mean, it makes it sound like we shouldn't agree to that. I mean, if it's gonna lock us into,
I'm saying, correct me if I'm wrong, or
Okay.
you would like to speak over me.
I would never do
No,
that, but I do have some thoughts.
This is what's gonna happen, whether we make a motion to
Yeah,
sign it or
yeah,
not.
right.
That was my question of those 4 options. How do they differ? The end result's the same?
So there's a little bit of a risk relationally only.
Okay, that's
Okay.
kind of what I was starting to
So
hear.
if we do nothing, the state law still exists, we walk the path, and all parties involved work very hard to maintain a really great relationship, which is what we have now. I want to be we have that now. If we vote to say no, I think that speaks sometimes to, okay, they said no to us, and that may have some risk to our relationship. If we say yes to this, I think it does strengthen our relationship because we're in good faith agreement around this. And to Kevin's point, again, remember, my job is to protect the corporation. This is not about how things are now. It's about what about 5 years from now when the next superintendent comes in, or 10 years, or whatever it is, and they say, I don't like the way this is working. Can we work something else out? It's easy to point back to say, well, we had this agreement with your superintendent from previously, which I would be signing under your authority. It might bind them up around any other options, or it doesn't, and and ultimately just walks the path around. We sign and we just keep doing what we're doing.
How long is this agreement good for?
The life of the TIF.
There is no end date.
I know. I wanted them to say that.
Yeah, so ultimately, this concept is every time they do another project, essentially it's a 20-year timeline from there, and then they get to, those who are involved would get to choose the next project and the next project and the next project along the way. I am not to pretend that we will ever have a dog in the fight around, like, can we stop this from happening. No, that's not the nature of TIFs. However, I struggle a little bit to say out loud, yes, this is how we want this to be, when along the way, I've been fairly vocal that I want us to be different. I want us to be different. I want this community to be different than what everything else happens in the state. And I love for us to stand up and say, listen, we don't have to do what everyone else does. We can show great collaboration and just write the words 15%, right? And know that's we are together in that. And I feel like this may be part of like, well, this is kind of the rules, right? And I would say out loud, what's to say we can't break the rule, right? What's to say we can't have our own agreement around this concept? I would love to see us as a group, as a whole community, step forward and say, you know what? We need these projects to continue development. These are good things. These are good things. And what's good for Franklin County is good for Franklin County schools. But also what's good for Franklin County schools is also good for Franklin County. And so I do believe that these projects are important, and development's a great thing. I really do. I wish there was a way to do that and keep the school whole. I just don't know that that's possible. I don't know they have enough money to do the projects and keep the school whole. I don't know that. So if not, I get it. I do get it. Then can we at least say out loud, we're going to lock that 15% in for now and forever, and go from there. So with that all being said, my job was to bring forth the letter to say, how would you like to proceed? If you'd like my recommendation, I'm happy to give it. And then we can proceed off my recommendation, or one of you can just go ahead or we just let it have no motion whatsoever.
I'm going to add one more thing, not that it will really change this decision, but just to go off of what you were talking about, Beth. Right now, the school board does not have a voting position on either redevelopment commission. There is legislation out there trying to change that. This is just my guess, my opinion. That's because they took our say-so out in this situation. So I honestly don't even know where that bill is right at this point, but that is out there for the potential future that we
Forever.
will have
It's
a
been there
vote.
forever.
Yeah. Again, that really has no bearing on this. I just wanted to put that out there.
That was some of my concern was, and I don't know the likelihood of this, maybe Sarah may, but will will the legislation change? Will the state code change? And then we're locked in because we've signed this forever contract. That's, to me, the only, because this is all not in our hands, that's the worry, is that we're locking in a percentage that maybe that changes in the future.
It's a very formal contract. There is a section in there that says if the state law changes, that the contract will change to abide by the state law.
Okay.
So that's covered.
So if they say make it 18%, we would also
it says, yeah,
naturally move that.
Yeah, it says the
Okay.
contract would, follow the state law.
Okay.
So that part's covered. If just for background, this all started with the county commissioners telling the redevelopment commission to negotiate in good faith with the school board, and that's because last fall the commissioners created that new residential TIF on like 300 acres or 300 parcels, whatever, huge amount of land. And created that new residential TIF, and as part of that vote, they told the redevelopment to negotiate with the school board. So that's what started all this. It was the commissioner's action.
So the agenda items here, do we have across the board any motion towards any of the options?
I'd like to make a motion to accept that with the understanding that the guidelines are what Sarah was referring to, that if we sign the document, there's an understanding that that number could change based on state law. Okay.
We have a motion on the table to sign the agreement as listed.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
I don't think we heard Dustin's recommendation, did we? Did
You
you
didn't.
speak? I would like to know that, your thoughts just around it.
Most important to me is two things. One, I protect this corporation. and protection looks like we don't lock ourselves in to a deal that could be better along the way. And it's already protected by state law as it is. Second is to continue the great work that we're doing right now with this group. And we are doing great work with this group. They are with us. I've met with them from day one I landed here. We have had really good idea sessions, and they're bringing forth dollars to support those ideas. With those two things in mind, I would rather not say no, we will not sign any such thing. I would much rather say we will give a response letter of essentially saying we would love to continue in this great relationship and follow state law as written. That would be my recommendation. But the letter is written in a way that it's to the board, that I would be signing on your behalf. And so the board, the board has to say what they want to say, and then I can sign accordingly. That's why I've held off. Normally, it's my recommendation along the way. But, so right now we have a motion and a second around signing the document as written, with a question and discussion. Any other discussion?
Yes, I have. I was on the Brookville redevelopment for many years, and this is, it's been quite a tedious, to try to develop this so that the schools were happy and they were happy, and so I think that you've made great strides with this group, and really honestly, as a part of the redevelopment, we didn't really know what was happening. No one would give us an answer. So I feel like with what you've done is that it's given us a clear path to what we can do, and with it being involved with the state law, as Kim said, I think that kind of a protection for us also.
You think signing it protects us? I just want to make sure I'm understanding what you said.
With the understanding
With
that,
the
yeah, that if there was any changes federally or state-wise,
okay,
that would follow those guidelines, yeah.
Here's the truth. Worst case scenario, we sign it, and 5 years from now, they change something and we got to follow up. We have the language written in there that we can follow up and make the move. Worst case scenario is the next superintendent, 25 years from now, says, hey, listen, let's put a dog in the fight around TIFs, and they can point back and say, well, your previous superintendent signed this. And it's going to feel awkward and weird because the next board is going to have to honor what is being signed here around this TIF. I mean, this is what this looks like. And so when I say worst case scenario, that is the worst case, is that we're binding the hands of future superintendents and boards to make a fuss around TIF because we don't get to vote, but we can make a fuss around it in the future.
Well, when we started this out, it was, well, we need all this for the community. We don't have any money to give you. And they would always give us that letter every year. But, so we've made progress of getting some money, so.
I agree. We have made progress and we do have a good relationship. We're not saying no, but with everything that has been said after the motion, I will ask if Mr. Simonson would be interested in rescinding his motion. In which case, it would be open to another motion, or if there is no motion after that,
I
we'll
have
just
no
follow.
problem rescinding it, because my overall concern is, one, as Dustin stated, developing the relationship we have, but we also must maintain the flexibility to adapt to changes in that percentage. So,
to keep things clean.
Well,
I mean, so I will
yes.
rescind that, so,
Rescinding.
yes, so.
Okay. Ms. Foster, are you also in agreement?
Yes.
You did second?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So we've rescinded essentially the signature motion.
Yeah.
So we're back to 0 motions so far. My recommendation was that we write a letter back thanking them so much for the relationship that we have, and that we look forward to continuing to following the state law as written. And of course, we want that relationship to continue. So unless someone has something different, if someone wants to
I'll make a motion
Thank you.
for Mr. Garrett's proposal for the letter to them.
Okay.
Do we have a
Second.
second?
Okay. Part of the discussion will be, that letter will be in draft form to you before it goes to them. So, because I am representing you in this behalf, because the agreement was to you. And so that would be to you in draft form as we kind of work our way through the language of it all. But we do have a motion second. Any other questions or discussion?
And I will be clear, that is not us saying no, that is not anything of the sort. It is saying we have a state law. We appreciate the relationship so far. Let's continue that good relationship. So, any other discussion? If not, we have a motion and a second for the letter. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 6-0. Approval to transfer personal property, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute.
Mr. Kaiser, could I
Oh, I'm
just
sorry.
ask
Yeah,
you
yeah.
a quick question?
Sorry,
The
I didn't see
redevelopment commission is meeting next Tuesday, April 22nd. Do you think the letter would be ready then, or do you think it'll be like the May meeting?
I think we'll be okay by then.
Okay.
I'll get it done this week. All right, so Dustin Riley, Athletic Director, and Dustin Gehring, Superintendent, requesting the approval of 3 golf carts to be transferred from the town of Brookville to FCCSC, to authorize John Estridge, President of Town Council, to execute the agreement after FCC has adopted the resolution. And so we have an opportunity to partner and accept 3 golf carts. I believe all total $1 is our cost. But to do that, because these are town dollars and public dollars, there has to be a resolution to accept on our end so we can fill out the paperwork for their end. So if you wanted to say no to dollar golf carts, we can talk about it. But I need a first, second, question, discussion, and then a vote.
Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Mr. Simonson, motion to approve the transfer. Is there a second? Ms. Foster? My only question is there something we can do to thank them or some kind of sign or anything on the?
Go join the course.
We will be sure to include a thank you publicly. Absolutely.
Do we own them then?
We will.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 6-0. Athletic booster raffle license renewal.
So we had the renewal, but now we're looking for the next step. So Dustin Gehring, Superintendent, recommending approve to authorize the FCAB Athletic Boosters to use FCHS grounds for raffles and activities during the raffle license period of 5/1 of 25 to 4/30 of 26. Think of this as split the pot at football games, things of that nature is what they're looking for approval around. That will need a first, second, question, discussion, and vote.
Floor is open for a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Ms. Brennan, is there a second? Ms. Foster? Any other discussion?
Is this different than any other year?
I don't believe so.
Okay,
Not that.
that's what I had assumed.
Still haven't
Jessica,
once split the pot.
I think one year they raffled off a recliner or stuff like that.
Okay.
We're wrapping off a recliner?
A recliner?
I had no
One
idea.
year, yeah,
No kidding.
yeah.
Okay.
Raffled off a what?
I was just curious if it was any like
Do you remember
new
that? You don't remember.
I don't believe
activity,
so.
right? I
I
didn't
don't
think so.
believe
Okay.
If no other discussion, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 6-0. Next is other appointment of Franklin County Public Library Board.
You or me?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Recommendation to appoint Beth Foster to serve on the Franklin County Public Library Board. Beth currently serves in this capacity. This is a 4-year term. Before I ask for a motion or a second, do you accept the,
Will you?
Yes.
or will you accept?
Yes.
That'd be awkward.
Yeah. Can't force you. With that, tables, or, is open, the floor is open for a motion, sorry.
Also move.
Mr. Simonson,
I'll second it.
Ms. Wilson, any discussion?
Thank you.
I would just like to, I was on the board with Beth, you know, during the early construction of the library. I'm just telling you, her energies are really insightful down there. She does a great job. I mean, she's taken that project and really done well with it. I mean, the whole group, it's a really great group, so.
Thank you.
And this, I don't think it's on here. This is retroactive to like September or something.
September 12th is when the last term
Just, yeah,
expires.
just to put that out there. No other discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. 5-0. All those opposed?
I'm not going.
I just
Abstain?
want to say, Ms. Foster. I just wondered if you're
I
going to be opposed.
understood, yeah. I understood what you're doing, but I'll go through it.
I didn't know where you were going to go with that.
Superintendent's report.
Just a couple of items. I want to start by handing things over to Ms. Shannon New. Shannon New's going to give us an update on kindergarten roundup numbers. Go ahead, Shannon.
So kindergarten roundup was last Thursday and Friday. As of today, these are registered on the website, parents who have gone in and registered, and then I'm going to give you a little tidbit of information after that. So BES right now has 41 kindergartners registered. LES has 11, and Mount Carmel has 29. Now, please keep in mind that in those preschool environments, those preschoolers going to kindergarten are already considered FCCSC students, so they could not go into the new program and register. They have to wait until open enrollment, which has not begun yet. So at BES, it's actually 41 plus 3. LES is 11 plus 13, and Mount Carmel is 29 plus 1. Now, we did have families that came in and put their name in and took packets and then said they'd register when they went home, but we did not include those numbers in this.
You said you had more to add.
That was the plus.
Where do you have the current kindergarten numbers for this year? Or how do we look compared to last year at this time during roundup?
Well, I can give you current, what we have
I guess
this year.
honestly, the
I can-
current numbers aren't that an issue. It's more the seniors that are leaving, so don't worry about
Yeah,
that.
so I can give you as of the fall registration, when, the official count was taken for kindergarten, we had a class of 96. So far with these numbers, we are showing a new class kindergarten of 98. Now, please keep in mind that our graduating class will be 175, that we will be losing. So yeah, I don't know if that answers all your questions. These are counts as, like I said, the kindergarten was the count of the fall of last year. The senior class is the graduating number that I believe we got today, the 175.
The question to the roundup is, do we know how we look compared to last year at this time? Better?
Principals are telling us that we are better. I know that I can speak for Laurel personally. 24 is way better than we were this time last year. Miss Lake said the same thing, as did Jill, that the numbers are higher than where we were last year.
So now that roundup is over, are they able to register, or when is it is open now?
It's open
Okay.
now until school starts, and then we'll be adding soon that parents in grades K now in kindergarten through 11 can register as well. That's just not ready to go yet.
And hopefully people are listening, or we can get it out there. The sooner people register, the sooner Mr. Gearing, Ms. New, Kendra, everybody can get our teachers and numbers in order. When it's last minute, that's what creates headaches and issues. So the sooner you can get registered, the better. Please, and thank you.
All right, so other items, there's other discussion points on that?
No, I'll do a better job registering Maddie, because I'm always the slacker. And as he's saying that, I'm like, oh, that's me.
Well, and I want to give a shout out to our elementary secretaries as well as principals. They're doing an amazing job at contacting families, saying, please get this done, please get this done.
Yeah.
It's always been a two-step process in the past. You came in for kindergarten roundup and then you had to register as well. And we've combined that into one step, and it has been a little longer, but the results are those families don't have to come back in at registration.
And just
Okay.
one question on,
Yes.
I know the Mount Carmel attempting preschool, right?
Yes.
That's still open?
So the magic number is 20.
Okay.
And we have 10.
Okay.
So we have to have 20 to sustain the program, but it will stay open until May. We would like to be able to get a final count by the end of May, simply because if we can't do the program, we don't want families to be scrambling at the start of the year to find alternative placements. We don't think that's fair to families. So we're hoping, if we're close, we'll extend it when we get to the end of May, but the goal is that we can make a decision before the end of the year.
Thank you.
And also, I just like to, anyone listening that, again, like Mr. Kaiser said, please register. It also helps our transportation department so that they can route kids quicker as well.
And if we can get that out on Facebook over and over, and maybe the Observer, if anybody's listening.
They're all listening. All right, got a couple other items if it's okay with the board.
Yep.
A couple more positive things. Had a chance to see the play on Sunday. Our students were outstanding. Outstanding. I was so blown away by so many of them. And they really did an exceptional job. It takes incredible guts to get up there and not just perform, but to sing, and to sing with live music that way is incredible. They did a fantastic job. I was absolutely blown away. There was a team of people that came together to take the orchestra pit down on a Monday morning, like 7 a.m. We're all out there, and I was sore for 3 days. That doesn't reflect well on me, but it's an undertaking, and a bunch of people jumped in to get that done. So kudos to them for doing that, and kudos to all the kids on their performance. In addition to that, I want to take a moment and plug our Portrait of a Learner process. We've had two great meetings and great outcomes, roughly 50-ish people in the room. We have our first round of responses to our competencies. We're also going to do a survey of staff, student, and community to continue to get more input into these competencies. And then a little bit around a month from now, take our next step. If you haven't yet joined that team, you're still very welcome to be a part of Portrait of a Learner. It was a great couple of nights. Thank you to members of the board that were able to make it to those evenings along the way. Also, we had a full house tonight. I mean, my goodness, what a great thing to be able to recognize so many of our students tonight and just give you a chance to see them. There were some really outstanding contributions to our programming this year. A couple of them are just kind of out there. I didn't know we had kids playing hockey to that degree. And so I got that report, and I made sure we popped that onto the agenda. So that was a wonderful thing. Thank you to our administrators and also our athletic directors and everyone involved in that. A couple things not so great, and I want to talk about them for just a second if it's okay. First and foremost, financial outlook. We have some things happening at the legislative level that are concerning around Senate Bill and House Bill, Senate Bill 1, House Bill 1001, that are concerning and are going to impact us and put us in tough positions around tough decisions. And so if you have any influence or wouldn't have any influence with those involved, that would be much appreciated. But we are continuing to meet to prepare for that. We'll know much more typically at the end of April, and then really we'll know in August. But I want to be clear, we are walking into 25-26 with the same mindset towards the way we do the business as we did from 24-25. We're not going to see huge shifts in August where all of a sudden we're coming to the board with all these items that are around budget concerns. That's not what's going to happen. We are stable and we are settled going into 25-26. Financial year starts 26 in January, right? And so we have to start planning of what 26-27 will look like based on what we receive in August. In August, we'll know our numbers. In August, we'll start just talking about GO bonds, short-term, early plans, where are we now and where are we going? And so that is going to be an important piece of concern that we're watching and waiting for that. And we're not alone. We're not even close to alone. There are corporations worse off than we are from early estimates, as well as some that are not seeing such the impact. Also want to take a second, and I apologize, it's actually positive, it's not negative. Let me go back a step. You may have noticed that we changed our agenda for the board meeting. We had been for many, many years a very vanilla agenda with not a lot of detail to it. And so we shifted because we heard you. We heard folks say, hey, we wish it looked like this. And so we made a shift. And so this meeting represents the first time that we had more details added into the agenda. There was no scandal here. That's not the point. It was a matter of so we can make changes along the way if we needed to heading into the meeting. So now we have this new version of agenda. We have it out and about. And so that was done with approval by the board to move forward. And so this month represents that brand new agenda. Some folks did, some folks didn't even notice, but we noticed because we put it out that way. So we made that move. I want to take half a second to talk about something. And the board didn't ask me to say this. They don't know what I'm about to say. They get nervous sometimes when I say that. If you're a part of any company and you have a leadership team meeting, name the company, and you have a leadership team meeting, you pull into a room, you close the door, and you have those discussions, sometimes gentle, sometimes heated, sometimes what would seem like if someone else was watching, that is clearly divisive. But it's the nature of business. So when my team, my SLT comes together, we come together, I put a topic on the table. Everyone knows they can put in their 2 cents on that topic. And it's not always in agreement with me. In fact, there's many times that we talk about something and we land somewhere else besides where I was initially thinking. That is natural to a business operation. You come in, you close the door, and you kind of essentially talk it all out, and you open the door, and you walk out front and say, okay, this is what we got. But what happened in that room isn't public facing, right? We understand that. That's not the nature of those organizations. This is different. Be mindful, the conversations and the need for conversations are much the same. We need to be able to talk the business. But the difference is a board meeting is a public-facing business meeting. That's what this thing is. It's a public-facing business meeting. So imagine you take that set of executives or personnel or leaders or whatever, and instead of having that in a room, you had it here. That's what this is. And it can feel sometimes like, oh boy, I bet you there's divisiveness amongst the board, and I bet you it's this, and I bet you it's that. And I just want to say out loud, it's natural when you're having a business meeting to not always agree on everything. But this business meeting is public facing, unlike a lot of other business meetings that get a chance to have that open discussion behind a closed door. We do have a chance to have some closed door discussion on our executive session, but there are very limited topics to the things that we can discuss in the executive session, and they're very well spelled out. These are the topics you're allowed to talk about. Otherwise, it has to be here. And it can feel probably out there that this meeting's something different because it's public facing. It can feel somewhat different because we have community comments in the midst of it. What other business meeting in the middle of it put the time out and says, okay, all customers come to the microphone and tell us what you think, right? That's not normal business operation, but that's the nature of this beast. It can feel that way. I don't live here, and I haven't been here but about 8 months. And midway through that, we had a change of board. And I can say very clearly out loud that though there isn't always agreement all the way across the board, and they don't always agree with me, I have very much felt like this team is a cohesive unit around getting things done. But it could feel different. But keep in mind the nature of this. It is a public-facing business meeting. And so I just want to encourage those who are watching to don't get caught up too much in that rhetoric, because that's not what's happening here. I find it to be a very cohesive team. that wants to get things done. And so I just wanted to speak out loud to that because I've heard a couple of times along the way, oh, clearly we have a divisive board. That is not what I'm experiencing on my end. I'm not seeing that overall. They have a job to do. I have a job to do. We all want to walk the path for great things for FC. There's no question about that. Often, it's in alignment. Sometimes, there's disagreement. But that is the nature of how this conversation goes. 7-0 votes don't reflect anything different than sometimes 5-2s or 6-1s or 4-3s. It doesn't reflect a holistic division. It's just on that case, they had things that they felt differently about, and that's okay. Any company that had to have their business meeting out in the public, facing the public, would be in the same spot because you still got to get the job done. And I just wanted to mention that because it may feel differently out there, and I assure you that is not the case. When I call, they listen. When they call me, we talk. When we get together, we do the business, and that's what this looks like. I do want to be clear on something, and I say all that, and I'm also going to say this. Tonight, we decided as a group to postpone a vote for a month. I would only ask that there is a communication of what you need between now and then to make a decision. And I'm happy to support that need. So if it's a matter of a conversation with an employee, if it's a matter of a conversation with an athletic director or a principal or just with me, I would encourage you to reach out and say, here's what I need to help me make a decision a month from now. If we just spend the next month and have no action steps, then we just delay to delay. But if, in the meantime, there's something that says, this is what I needed to do before I can make this decision, I need you to know I'm all in, and I'm happy to provide whatever I can to assist in the decision heading into our May meeting. Does that make sense? So as we approach, each of you are welcome to tell me, hey, this is what I'm looking for before I make such a decision. With that being said, that is all the superintendent's report.
I will add, I've said this before, if we all agreed with each other 100% of the time and it was one idea and everybody just said, yep, I don't think we would get anywhere. There needs to be discussion. There needs to be differing ideas and input. And I don't doubt for 1 minute that everybody up here wants what is best for this school, corporation, students, staff, everything. So that has never even crossed my mind. With that, legislative updates. What's that?
Item 11.
Yep. I was going to talk about the budget bill. I believe it has passed out of the House. The only thing I can say, I don't say this to sound pessimistic and say we have no say-so in it, but these bills are not designed with us in mind. We just get caught up in it, unfortunately. So, I talked to Kendra the other day. I know she's stressing out. At this point, we've made some decisions. We have one piece of information that we need to know, and until we know it, there's no reason for Kendra to lose sleep. Is what I told her. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We can think ahead. Don't get me wrong. We should always think ahead, but let's be ready to go once that decision is made and we find out what the legislation is. Outside of that, I don't have anything else. Next is, or if anybody else has anything they want to talk about.
Yes.
Legislation. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I have, 3.
Yep.
Bob O'Brien Field. That was brought to us.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's been done.
Anything else legislation? We'll talk about that on the future agenda.
Okay.
Right.
Put that on future agenda.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Kim usually has something with legislation.
Second thing. Does anybody else want to say anything about the legislation?
All yours. Really quick.
Okay.
Really quick, sorry. I just, like Mr. Gehring said, we'll know more in August after the assessed values come out, and how whatever passes, how it truly affects us. And August, September is when I will start the budget process, and I will be bringing these things to the board. I'm sure that we'll be in communication before then, but I just wanted to let you know that that's when we'll start showing the reflection of how whatever passes will truly affect us. We'll be with the budget work, and we'll start having in-depth conversations in August, September, when the budget starts coming to the board and discussions along those lines.
Thank you.
Can I talk now?
Future agenda items.
Yes, Bob O'Brien Field.
Yep, understood.
We understood that there's something wrong with the orchestra pit. Have
Yeah.
we had anybody look at this? Do we know what's going on? How much is it gonna cost?
I know
What
all
are we
those
doing?
things.
Okay,
You ready? So our orchestra pit is no longer in service,
right.
meaning that there are no parts, and they will
It's
not.
30 years old, 30 plus.
They will not service it at all. So we're essentially on our own. Going into the orchestra pit, which I did with Martin, crawled right underneath there. I see the concerns around putting it back up one more time, which we were fine, but then taking it back down and back up. We are at the point where we're really starting to risk would we be able to get it back up because of some of the parts. So at some point you got to make a decision. So we're not taking it down anymore. So I've been in communication with our drama director to let her know, and the whole team, listen, we can get this done one more time. I got a great mind in Martin Earlywine who's going to help us get this thing settled. That his charge is not to design something that can go up and down. His charge is to put it up and have it firm up so we know that we're safe. If in the midst of that he comes up with an idea of how to take it up and down to continue it, I'm all ears. I'm not opposed to it, but in reality, some of the framework underneath is getting to the point where we are really risking not being able to get it back up one more time, and then we're stuck. The cost is incredible of a replacement, hundreds of thousands of dollars from the same company to come out and it says, I gave him our measurements, and he's like, look, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars. I said, okay, we'll figure it out. And so that is where we are. So we just got done with the play. Martin knows that he's going to put it back up. We know we're going to get it back up one more time. And then depending on how that design goes, that'll be it. Or we'll be able to take it back down for the future, but that's already been communicated with our team.
Well, I know that there's lots of people that use that stage in the
Yes.
summertime.
Mhm.
And if we could get it up and get it,
It is.
because I'm not sure that there's any place else in Brookfield that they could have these.
Oh, the plan is not to
the
leave it down.
event.
No,
Okay.
we didn't
But
take
I'm
it down
just-
until I knew we can get it back up one more time.
Oh, but I'm just saying that I think that would be our major thing, is to get it
Absolutely.
up so the people can use it this summer.
100%.
Okay, third thing, graduation. I know that you're thinking about that, and as soon as we have dates, and I mean, we're not changing graduation date, right?
No, I mean,
Okay, so,
what's the agenda item?
pardon me?
Is there an agenda item?
Yeah, how are we gonna make up all the days? Are we?
Oh, okay. So we actually have only the one. We make it up this Friday for Good Friday. So what happened was is when the snow hit so hard, the state came back and said, listen, if you have additional e-learning days up to 3, we'll prove them on the backside. That always makes me a little bit nervous, but so far so good. So since then, we have used all but one e-learning day that we don't have to make up any further day. We had one day to make up because it caught us off guard right after break. And so we had that one that lands on Good Friday because we're very thankful to some of our employees who said that they would be flexible on the holiday. And so we made all that work. And so we're in session on Friday for Good Friday. Then in addition to that, we have one e-learning day in our pocket if we need it for future flooding. Okay. After that, we've already rolled out our synchronous learning plan, meaning that if we have additional days for flooding, we have a plan in place so that we don't have to make up any days. My plan is to not make up any additional days after Memorial Day, so there should not be any further shifting.
Well, I've heard people talk about graduation and they're
Sure.
not changing and blah, 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 you know, this and that. And I said, don't worry, we'll get you through it, so.
We're gonna be good. So that is
Okay,
not,
thank you.
so that's not an agenda item, you just want some info.
Well, I think maybe it needs to go out to the public because people are starting, you know, they have venues and they have parties and they have
So you want us to, I hear you,
graduation.
to affirm that graduation is gonna stay where it is?
Exactly.
Okay, we can do that. Almost to some degree, a guarantee. Gotcha. Ms. South, how do you feel about a guarantee around graduation? Okay, all right, very good. She feels the same way. All right.
Recognitions and acknowledgements. Anybody have any? We talked about the play, that was great, a couple times. So, with that, we are in adjournment. Thank you.
Thank you,
Next